The conference room on Station 7 was bigger than any building on Earth. Aliens from different worlds sat in long rows that went up like stairs in a theater. Some had scales, some had fur, some floated in tanks of water. They all watched the four-armed alien who stood at the center. Chairman Zalthix was tall and thin. His purple skin shined under the bright lights. His voice was deep and strange when he spoke. "This emergency meeting of the Galactic Council is now open," he said. His forearms moved as he talked. "We have gathered to discuss the human problem." In the middle of the room, Ambassador Kyle Johnson stood behind a small desk. He wore a simple blue suit. Next to the huge aliens around him, he looked small, but his face was calm. His hands did not shake. "The human problem?" Kyle asked. "I was not aware we were a problem." Zalthix turned his three eyes toward Kyle. "Your species has spread across 50 systems in just 10 years. No other race has expanded so quickly." "We explore," Kyle said. "We learn. We make friends. Is that wrong?" A clicking sound came from the left side. The Zarthian delegate stood up. She looked like a giant spider made of crystal. When she moved, light bounced off her body in rainbow colors. "Friends?" she said. Her voice sounded like breaking glass. "You build colonies in the neutral zone. You ignore our borders. You trade weapons with primitive worlds." Kyle shook his head. "We have never traded weapons. We share food and medicine. We teach farming. We help where we can." "Lies," the voice came from above. A creature that looked like a flying snake with wings circled the room. This was the Colonian ambassador. "We have reports. Your ships are armed. Your colonies have defenses. You prepare for war." "We prepare for peace," Kyle said. "But we also prepare to defend ourselves. Space is dangerous. Pirates exist. Asteroids fall. We protect our people." More aliens began to speak. They complained about human ships that were too fast. They worried about human scientists who learned too quickly. They feared human settlers who adapted to any world. Kyle listened to each complaint. He answered calmly. He showed documents. He offered to share information. But the aliens were not satisfied. "Enough!" Zalthix raised all four arms. The room became quiet. "Ambassador Johnson, your people move too fast. You grow too strong. You do not follow our ways." "Our ways are peaceful," Kyle said. "We have broken no laws. We have attacked no one." "Not yet," said a voice from the back. A blob of green jelly rolled forward. This was the Gorian delegate. "But what about tomorrow? What about next year? Your kind changes everything they touch." Kyle looked around the room. He saw fear in alien eyes. He saw anger. He saw confusion. These beings had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. Now, humans were here and things were different. "Change is not always bad," Kyle said quietly. Zalthix struck his staff on the floor 3 times. The sound echoed through the chamber. "The time for debate is over. We must vote. All in favor of banning human expansion?" Arms, tentacles, and other limbs rose around the room. Lights flashed as some species voted with colors. Others made sounds. The computer counted each vote. All opposed, only a few voted no. They were small races, weak races, races that humans had helped. "The count is complete," Zalthix announced. 87 for the ban, 13 against. The motion passes. He turned to Kyle. "By order of the Galactic Council, humanity is hereby banned from further expansion. You may not colonize new worlds. You may not build new ships. You may not trade advanced technology. You will remain within your current borders." Kyle nodded slowly. "We hear the Council's decision." "Do you accept it?" Zalthix asked. "Earth will comply with the Council's wishes," Kyle said. A small smile crossed his face. "We are a peaceful people. We follow the law." Zalthix stared at Kyle. Something about the human's calm bothered him. Most species would argue. They would threaten. They would beg. But Kyle simply stood there, smiling slightly. "You may go," Zalthix said. Kyle bowed to the council. He walked to the exit with steady steps. As the doors closed behind him, several delegates shifted nervously. He accepted too easily. The Zarthian delegate clicked. "Humans are strange," the Colonian said. "They smile when they should cry. They laugh when they should fear." Salthix watched the closed door. "Perhaps, but the law is passed. They must obey." In the corridor outside, Kyle Johnson walked toward his ship. His assistant, Sam Davis, waited there. Sam was young and nervous. "How did it go?" Sam asked. "As expected," Kyle said. "They voted to ban us." "That's terrible. What will we do?" Kyle smiled wider. "We'll do exactly what we plan to do. The ban changes nothing." "But sir, they said we can't expand. We can't build. We can't trade." "No," Kyle corrected. "They said, we can't do those things officially. The council only controls what they can see." Sam frowned. "I don't understand." Kyle put his hand on Sam's shoulder. "You will. Send a message to Earth. Use the secure channel. Tell them the Prometheus protocol is now active." "The Prometheus protocol? What's that?" "You'll learn soon enough. For now, just send the message." "And Sam?" "Yes, sir?" "Pack your things. We're going home. Our real work is about to begin." As their ship left Station 7, Kyle looked back at the massive structure. The council thought they had contained humanity. They thought their ban would stop human progress. They were wrong. In the depths of space, far from council eyes, human colonies already thrived on hidden worlds. Scientists worked in secret labs. Ships flew in the darkness between stars. The ban would not stop humanity. It would only make them more careful, more clever, more determined. The council had made their choice. Now humanity would make theirs, and the galaxy would never be the same. 6 months passed since the ban. The galaxy seemed peaceful. Council ships flew their normal routes. Trade continued between member worlds. Everything looked the same as before, but things were not the same. Captain Lisa Morgan sat in her pilot seat. Her cargo ship, the Endeavor, drifted through empty space. To anyone watching, she carried food and basic supplies to human colonies. Her manifest said so. Her license was in order. She broke no laws, but the manifest lied. Coming up on the drop point, her co-pilot Ben Foster said. Lisa checked her screens. "Any council ships nearby?" "Nothing for 50 light years. We're alone." Lisa smiled. "Good. Start the real manifest." Ben pressed hidden buttons. Secret panels opened in the cargo bay. Instead of food, the ship carried quantum computers and fusion reactors. Instead of clothes, they had terraforming equipment. Instead of medicine, they transported matter converters. "Cargo ready?" Ben said. "Where's our contact?" A light flashed on the screen. Space seemed to bend. A ship appeared from nowhere. "There," Lisa said. "Right on time." The ship had no markings, no registration. It didn't exist in any database. Like Lisa's hidden cargo, it was a ghost. "This is Shadow 6, a voice said through the radio. "Ready for transfer." "Shadow 6, this is Endeavor. Beginning transfer now." Robot arms moved the cargo between ships. The whole process took 10 minutes. No money changed hands. No records were made. When it finished, the ghost ship vanished. "Again, transfer complete," Ben said. "That's our 5th run this week." Lisa turned her ship toward human space. "And they think we're delivering potatoes." Far away on a planet that didn't exist, Dr. Alex Cooper watched the sunrise. The sky was purple turning to gold. 2 moons still hung above the horizon. A year ago, this world was a barren rock. Now forests grew. Rivers ran, birds flew in the sky. "Dr. Cooper?" A young woman approached. Her name was Jane Miller. She managed the colony's food production. "The new crops are ready for inspection." Alex nodded. "Show me." They walked through fields of grain that grew twice as fast as Earth wheat. They passed orchards where fruit trees produced food all year. They saw vegetables that could grow in any soil in any climate. "How?" Jane asked, not for the first time. How do they grow so fast? New science, Alex said. We call it adaptive genetics. The plants change themselves to match the world. The council banned this technology, Jane said quietly. The council banned us from sharing it, Alex corrected. They said nothing about using it ourselves, or about developing it further. Jane looked around. 3,000 humans lived here. Now, the colony had houses, schools, hospitals. Children played in parks. People worked in labs and factories. An entire city existed where the council saw only empty space. How do we stay hidden? Jane asked. Alex pointed to towers around the colony's edge. Bending fields, they curve light and energy around us. To any scanner, we're just another piece of empty rock. And if the council finds us, they won't. We're getting better at hiding every day, and we're not alone. There are dozens of colonies like this. Maybe hundreds. I don't know them all. Jane shook her head in wonder. The council wanted to stop us. Instead, they made us sneaky. Alex laughed. Not sneaky, creative. Above Earth's moon, in a crater that looked empty, General Kate Harrison watched 50 ships train for battle. They flew in perfect formation, they disappeared and reappeared. They fired weapons that made no sound and left no trace. Time? She asked her aide, Captain Joe Turner. 17 seconds from start to finish, Joe said. They destroyed all targets. No energy signatures detected. Kate nodded. Good. Run it again, make it harder. General, they've done this drill 100 times. They're ready. Ready for what we know, Kate said. But space is big. The galaxy is full of surprises. We prepare for everything. Joe reset the simulation. The ships formed up again. This time, the targets fought back with unknown weapons. The human ships adapted. They learned. They won again. 15 seconds, Joe reported. They're getting faster. Kate smiled. Speed is life. In space, the quick survive. The slow become debris. The council has bigger fleets, Joe pointed out. Size doesn't matter if they can't see us coming, or if we're gone before they can react. A message appeared on her screen. It came through quantum channels that couldn't be traced. Kate read it and stood up. New orders? Joe asked. No. An invitation. Pack a bag. We're going to Haven. Haven was the code name for the biggest human secret. Even Kate didn't know where it was. She knew it existed. She knew the smartest humans gathered there. She knew they worked on projects that would change everything. The journey took 3 days through twisted space. Kate's ship jumped through hidden gates that bent distance. When they arrived, she saw something impossible. A space station floated in the void. But this wasn't like any station she'd seen. It was huge, bigger than some moons. It was shaped like a flower with 1,000 petals. Each petal was a different color. The whole thing spun slowly, creating gravity through rotation. Welcome to Haven, a voice said. Dr. Paul Adams, station director. Kate shook his hand as she stepped off her ship. It's incredible. How long did this take to build? 4 months, Paul said. Impossible. A station this size would take years, Paul smiled. With normal construction, yes. But we don't use normal construction anymore. We use programmable matter. The station builds itself. He led her through corridors, filled with busy people. Scientists worked at computers. Engineers tested new devices. Children attended schools where they learned science that didn't exist last year. How many people live here, Kate asked. 50,000, and growing. 50,000. How do you feed them all? Paul opened a door. Beyond it stretched farms that couldn't fit inside any station. The space was bigger inside than outside. Folded space, Paul explained. We bend dimensions, make pockets larger than their containers. One room can hold a city. Kate stared in amazement. The council has no idea what we can do. No, Paul agreed. And that's how we like it. They banned us from their version of progress. So we created our own. They walked through labs where scientists worked on projects Kate couldn't understand. They passed factories where machines built things from pure energy. They saw schools where children learned to think in ways that would terrify the council. "This is why you invited me," Kate said. "You want the military to know what's possible." "Partly," Paul said, "but also because it's time to move to Phase 2. Phase 2? Paul stopped at a window. Outside, the stars looked different. They moved in strange patterns. "We're not in normal space," Paul said. "Haven exists in a fold between dimensions. We're everywhere and nowhere at once." Kate felt dizzy. "That's not possible. 6 months ago it wasn't. But we learn fast. We adapt. We overcome. That's what humans do." "What's Phase 2? Kate asked again. Paul smiled. "The council banned us from expanding officially, but they never said we couldn't protect others, or help when asked. Phase 2 is about being ready when the galaxy needs us." "Ready for what?" "Everything. War, peace, disaster, discovery. The council thinks they control the galaxy's future. They're wrong. The future belongs to those who prepare for it." Kate looked around Haven. She saw the power hidden here, the knowledge, the determination. The council had no idea what they'd unleashed. "We're not breaking the ban," she realized. "We're making it irrelevant." "Exactly," Paul said. "By the time they realize what happened, it'll be too late to stop us." "Because we'll be too strong?" "No," Paul said. "Because we'll be too necessary. The galaxy will need us. And we'll be ready." Outside the window, the strange stars danced. Inside Haven, humanity prepared for a future only they could see. The ban remained in place. The council slept peacefully. But in the darkness between stars, humanity grew stronger every day. Peace never lasts forever. The galaxy learned this truth when the Zephyrian Empire attacked New Gibraltar. The frontier world was home to 3 species. The gentle Morvacs grew food. The small Tinians mined minerals. The peaceful Galans ran the hospitals. None of them had weapons. None of them expected war. Governor Maria Santos stood in her office as explosions shook the ground. She was human, one of the few allowed to serve on council worlds. Her dark hair was messy. Her uniform was torn, but her voice stayed calm. "Send the message again," she told her aide, Danny Park. "I've sent it 5 times, Danny said. "The council isn't responding." Maria looked through her window. Zephyrian ships filled the sky. Their plasma weapons burned the fields. Their soldiers marched through streets. The local defense force had lasted 10 minutes. "Try again," Maria said. "Someone has to hear us." In the council chambers, delegates argued while people died. The Zephyrian ambassador claimed New Gibraltar belonged to them. The Morvac representative begged for help. Chairman Zalthix called for order. "We must follow procedure," Zalthix said. "First we investigate, then we debate, then we vote. By then, everyone will be dead." The Morvac clicked sadly. "The law is the law," Zalthix replied. "We cannot act without proof." Far away, in a hidden base, radar operator Emma White saw the distress signal. She worked for Earth's official fleet, the one the council knew about. But she also had other duties. "Sir," she called to her commander, "we're picking up emergency signals from New Gibraltar." Commander Frank Miller looked at her screen. "That's outside our allowed patrol area." "Yes, sir, but people are dying." Frank nodded slowly. "Log it as routine signals check, then send it through the shadow channel." Emma understood. Her fingers flew over hidden controls. The message vanished, into quantum foam, racing to places that didn't exist. Aboard the ghost ship Phantom, Captain Jack Miller got the message. He wasn't related to Frank Miller, the name was common, but they shared the same goals. "How far to New Gibraltar?" he asked. His navigator. 6 hours by normal drive, she replied. Her name was Alice Green. She was 25 and brilliant. 20 minutes by skip drive. Jack made his choice. Skip drive. Alert the others. Across dark space, more ghost ships got the word. They had names like Shadow and Spectre and Wraith. They gathered in empty space. They checked their weapons. They prepared for battle. On New Gibraltar, the situation got worse. Zephyrian troops surrounded the capital. They demanded surrender, they promised mercy. Maria didn't believe them. She'd seen what Zephyrians did to conquered worlds. They took slaves, they stole resources, they left nothing alive. "Governor," Danny said. "They're breaking through the shields." Maria closed her eyes. She thought of her daughter on Earth. She thought of the families hiding in basements. She thought of the council doing nothing. "Tell everyone to find shelter," she said. "We'll hold as long as we can." The first Zephyrian soldiers reached the government building. They were huge, covered in armor that sparked with energy. Their weapons could melt steel. Then the sky changed. Space tore open. Ships poured through the rip. They were black and sleek and silent. They moved like smoke. They struck like lightning. The Zephyrian commander screamed orders. His ships turned to face this new threat. They fired massive guns. The shots hit nothing. The black ships were already gone. They appeared behind the Zephyrians. They fired once. Zephyrian shields crumbled. Engines died, weapons went dark. "What's happening?" Danny asked. Maria stared at her screens. "Someone's helping us." The battle was short. The ghost ships danced through space. Every shot hit its target, every move was perfect. They didn't destroy the Zephyrian ships, they disabled them, left them helpless, made them watch. On the ground, Zephyrian troops ran for their transports, but the transports wouldn't work. Their equipment failed. Their armor locked up, they stood frozen like statues. The lead ghost ship broadcast a message. The voice was disguised, mechanical. "Zephyrian forces, you have attacked innocent people. You will leave immediately. You will not return. This is your only warning." The Zephyrian commander snarled. "Who dares threaten the Empire? Show yourselves." "We are friends of peace, enemies of bullies. Leave now." The Zephyrians had no choice. Their working ships towed their broken ones. Their frozen soldiers were carried like cargo. They ran from an enemy they couldn't see or understand. As quickly as they came, the ghost ships vanished. They left no trace, no energy signature, no clue to their identity. Maria stood in her ruined office. Her hands shook now that danger had passed. Who were they? Danny studied the sensor logs. Unknown. Their technology. It's nothing in our database. The way they moved, the weapons they used. It's all impossible. But they saved us. Yes. But why? And how did they know we needed help? Maria didn't answer. She couldn't. But deep down she wondered. The ships had moved like human pilots. The tactics felt familiar. But that was impossible. Humans were banned. Humans couldn't have such technology, could they? In council space, confusion ruled. The Zephyrians screamed about invisible enemies. They demanded justice, they accused everyone. Zalthik studied the reports. No energy traces, no weapon signatures, no proof of anything except that the Zephyrians had fled. "Ghost stories," he declared. "You ran from shadows." "They were real," the Zephyrian ambassador raged. "They had weapons we've never seen, ships that appear from nowhere." "Then show us evidence," Zaltik said. "Show us data." The Zephyrian had nothing. Their computers were blank. Their sensors showed empty space. It was as if the battle never happened. Days passed, more incidents occurred. Pirates attacking a Colonian transport found themselves suddenly powerless. Slavers raiding a Morvac colony woke up in prison cells. A corrupt governor oppressing his people vanished in the night. Always the same pattern. Bad people doing bad things. Then ghost ships appearing. Problems solved. Evidence erased. The council grew nervous. Delegations asked questions. Who were these ghosts? What did they want? Why did they help? Zaltix called an emergency session. "We face an unknown force," he announced. "Someone operates outside our authority. They must be found, they must be stopped." "But they help people," the Morvac delegate said quietly. "They break our laws," Zaltix replied. "They ignore our authority. That cannot be allowed." He ordered increased patrols. He demanded better sensors. He offered rewards for information. Nothing worked. The ghosts remained ghosts. In her office on New Gibraltar, Maria Santos wrote her reports. She described the attack, she listed the damage, she thanked the unknown saviors. Then she added a personal note, not in the official report, just for herself. They moved like humans. They fought like humans. They protected the weak like humans. But that's impossible. Humans are banned. Humans don't have such power. She paused, then wrote more. Unless the ban didn't stop them. Unless they found another way. Unless they're still out there. Watching, waiting, protecting. She sealed the note. She marked it private. She wondered if she was right. Across the galaxy, fear and hope mixed together. Fear among those who abused power. Hope among those who suffered. The ghost ships had changed everything. The powerful worried. The weak prayed. And somewhere in the darkness between stars, humans smiled. The council had banned them from expanding, so they became protectors instead. They couldn't colonize officially, so they saved lives quietly. The ban remained. The council kept watching. But the galaxy was learning a new truth. When evil struck, help would come. Silent, swift, unstoppable. The age of ghosts had begun. The council chamber buzzed with angry voices. Ambassador Sophie Chen stood at the center facing hundreds of alien delegates. Her black hair was tied back. Her blue suit was perfectly pressed. Her face showed no fear. Ambassador Chen, Chairman, Zalthix began. His forearms moved as he spoke. The council has questions, you will answer them. I'm happy to help, Sophie said calmly. These ghost ships, Zalthix continued, they appear when people need help. They use unknown technology. They leave no trace. Some say they move like human ships. Sophie nodded. I've heard the stories. Fascinating. Are they human? The question came from the Zarthian delegate. Her crystal body flashed with suspicion. How could they be? Sophie asked. Humans are banned from developing such technology. We follow council law. Do you? The Colonian ambassador circled above. Your people are clever. You might hide things from us. Sophie smiled. You give us too much credit. We're a simple species. We explore. We learn. We certainly don't have invisible warships. Zalthix showed video from New Gibraltar. The quality was poor. The ghost ships were just shadows. These vessels saved a human governor. Convenient. They saved 3 species. Sophie corrected. Morvax, Tinians, and Galans lived there too. Besides, Governor Santos serves the council, not Earth. Still, Zalthix pressed. You must admit it's suspicious. Sophie spread her hands. Many things in space are suspicious. Black holes, dark matter, ghost ships. The universe holds mysteries. For hours they questioned her. They showed more videos. They presented theories. They demanded answers. Sophie stayed calm. She denied everything. She knew nothing. She suspected nothing. You're hiding something, the Zephyrian ambassador snarled. His species had suffered most from the ghost ships. I hide nothing, Sophie replied. Earth is a loyal council member. We respect the ban. We keep to our borders. Then explain this. Zalthix activated a new display. Energy readings filled the screen. We detected these signatures near the ghost ship encounters. They match human quantum frequencies. Sophie studied the data. Her expression didn't change. Inside, her heart raced. The council was getting closer to the truth. Interesting, she said. But quantum signatures are common. Many species use similar frequencies. Even some natural phenomena create these patterns. You deny these are human ships? I state facts. Earth has 90 ships. All are registered. All are tracked. You can count them yourself. It was true. Earth's official fleet was small and visible. The ghost ships were something else entirely. Suddenly, alarms filled the chamber. Red lights flashed. Screens showed urgent data. What's happening? Zalthix demanded. Ships detected, a technician called. Hundreds of them. Arriving now. The main display switched to external view. Space rippled. Vessels emerged from nowhere. Not ghost ships this time. These were big, bright, and obvious. The lead ship was massive. It looked like a silver city floating in space. Smaller vessels surrounded it. They formed perfect formations. They moved with military precision. "This is Admiral Greg White of the Human Space Command," a voice announced. "We come in peace. We request permission to address the Council." Zalthik stood frozen. The human fleet wasn't 90 ships. It was over 500. Where had they come from? How had they stayed hidden? "Permission granted," he managed to say. Admiral White appeared on screen. He was tall and gray-haired. His uniform carried no rank insignia. He looked like someone's grandfather. But his eyes were sharp as steel. "Council members," he began. "We apologize for the surprise, but it's time for truth." Sophie Chen stepped back. Her job was done. The revelation was beginning. "You banned human expansion," Greg continued. "We respected that. You limited our technology. We accepted that. But you didn't ban us from protecting innocent people." Screens around the chamber activated. They showed human colonies on worlds the Council didn't know existed. They showed factories building impossible things. They showed schools teaching new science. "How?" Zalthix whispered. "We innovated," Greg said simply. "You pushed us to find new solutions. We found them. Folded space, quantum tunneling, dimensional pockets. We learned to hide in plain sight." The Zarthian delegate clicked angrily. "You broke the ban. You expanded without permission." "Did we?" Greg asked. "Check your laws. We never entered council space. We never claimed registered worlds. We settled. Places you said were empty. Voids between galaxies. Spaces between dimensions." It was true. The council had banned humans from their territory, but humans had found territory elsewhere. Places the council couldn't imagine. Worlds they couldn't detect. "The ghost ships," Zalthik said. "They're yours." "They're nobody's," Greg replied. "They don't exist. No registration, no crews, no bases, just helpful shadows that appear when needed." "Impossible. Ships need pilots, bases, support." Greg smiled. "Do they? What if ships could think? What if they lived in space itself? What if they needed no bases because space was their home?" The council didn't understand. They couldn't understand. Human science had passed them while they weren't watching. "You've been protecting people," the Morvac delegate said softly. "Saving lives, stopping bullies." "Someone had to," Greg said. "The council is slow. Bureaucracy kills while committees debate. We chose to act." "Without authority," Zalthix shouted. "Without permission, you've made us look weak." "No," Greg said. His voice grew hard. "You made yourselves weak. You banned the one species willing to help others freely. You limited the ones who could have been your greatest allies." He gestured to the fleet outside. "We have over 1,000 ships now, colonies on 500 worlds. Technology you can't imagine, all developed since your ban. All created because you feared us." "You threaten us?" Zalthix asked. "Never," Greg said. "We offer partnership, real partnership, not the limited role you forced on us. We can help the galaxy, protect the weak, explore the unknown, share knowledge." "After deceiving us? After hiding your true strength?" Greg's expression softened. "We hid because you made us hide. You feared our growth, so we grew in shadows. You limited our reach, so we reached beyond your vision. You banned our expansion, so we expanded in ways you never imagined." Sophie stepped forward again. "The question now is simple. Do we continue this game, or do we work together?" Zalthix looked around the chamber. Many delegates seemed thoughtful. The Morvacs, Tinians, and Galans whispered together. They remembered New Gibraltar. They knew who had saved them. "You expect us to trust you?" Zalthix asked. "After these revelations?" "We expect you to think," Sophie said. "For years, ghost ships have protected innocent people. They've asked for nothing. They've hurt no one except criminals. Judge us by our actions, not your fears. Greg added more. We offer to share our technology, our protection, our knowledge, but as equals, not as banned subjects. And if we refuse? Zalthix asked. Greg shrugged. Then nothing changes. We continue protecting people. You continue fearing shadows. The galaxy stays divided. Everyone loses. Silence filled the chamber. The choice was clear. Accept humanity's new position, or fight a species that had outgrown their control. I call for a vote, the Morvac delegate said. Others agreed. The momentum shifted. Fear turned to hope. Suspicion became curiosity. Zalthix saw the chamber's mood. He recognized defeat. But perhaps it was victory too. The humans had power but showed restraint. They had strength but offered partnership. Very well, he said. We will vote. But first, one question. If we accept your proposal, what happens to the ghost ships? Greg smiled. What ghost ships? I've never heard of any ghost ships. Have you? Around the chamber, delegates began to understand. The ghost ships would continue, but now they would be allies, not mysteries. Protectors, not threats. The vote was called. The future awaited its answer. Humanity stood ready either way. The ban had failed to hold them back. Now the galaxy would decide if they wanted humanity beside them or beyond them. The age of secrets was ending. The age of truth was about to begin. The vote changed everything. When the count finished, silence filled the chamber. Zalthix read the results twice before speaking. 212 votes for partnership, 48 against, 15 abstained. His voice carried surprise. The motion passes. Cheers rose from smaller species. The Morvacs clicked with joy. The Tinians sang. The Galans flashed happy colors. They remembered who saved them when the council debated. Sophie Chen smiled. Admiral White nodded. Years of planning led to this moment. The ban was dead. Humanity was free. Before we proceed, Ambassador Jake Williams stepped forward. He was young and confident. He carried a data pad. Humanity has a proposal. A new way forward. Zalthix gestured for him to continue. The chairman looked tired but curious. We offer the Galaxy Protection Treaty, Jake said. Any species can join. Members share technology. They protect each other. They explore together. No single species leads. All voices matter equally. Screens showed the treaty details, mutual defense agreements, technology sharing protocols, exploration guidelines, trade benefits, everything the council should have been, but wasn't. You seek to replace the council? Zalthix asked. No, Jake replied. We seek to improve it. The council governs, the treaty protects, they work together. The Colonian ambassador spoke up. What of your secret colonies? Your hidden fleets? All revealed, Jake said. Maps are in the treaty, nothing hidden. Full transparency. But we keep the ghost ships. You said they didn't exist? Zalthix pointed out. Jake grinned. They don't. Officially. But unofficial protectors serve a purpose. Some threats need quick, quiet solutions. Many delegates nodded. They'd seen the ghost ships work. Pirates disappeared, slavers vanished. Bullies learned fear, the galaxy became safer. Show us these colonies, the Zarthian delegate demanded. The displays changed. Star maps appeared, but these weren't normal maps. They showed layers of space, dimensions folded inside dimensions, pockets of reality tucked between stars. The Orion Fold, Jake explained. 12 worlds in compressed space. Looks empty from outside. Step through the right door, find paradise. More locations appeared. The Pegasus Pocket, the Andromeda Angle, the Magellanic Maze. Hundreds of human worlds in impossible places. How? Zalthix asked simply. Necessity, Jake answered. You said, we couldn't have normal worlds, so we made abnormal ones. You limited three-dimensional expansion, so we expanded in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions. Dr. Amy Taylor joined the presentation. She was humanity's chief scientist for the revelation. Her brown hair was short. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. Space is like paper, she explained. Flat, if you only see 2 dimensions. But fold it, right, you create pockets. We learned to fold space-time itself, make rooms bigger than buildings, hide planets in empty space. She showed simulations, space bending, reality twisting, possibilities multiplying. The Council's science looked primitive in comparison. This is beyond us, the Gorian delegate admitted. We cannot understand such technology. You can learn, Amy said. We'll teach. That's what partners do. Days passed, treaties were signed, secrets were shared. The galaxy began to change. On Haven Station, Paul Adams welcomed alien scientists. They stared in wonder at impossible spaces, rooms that held forests, corridors that crossed galaxies, technology that thought for itself. This will take years to understand, a Zarthian scientist clicked. We have time, Paul said, and patience, and hope. The ghost ships revealed themselves, partially. They had names now. Guardian, Protector, Defender. But their crews stayed secret. Their bases remained hidden. Some mystery was necessary. Earth opened its borders. Alien visitors arrived daily. They found a world transformed. Cities floated in the sky. Oceans were clean. Air was pure. Poverty was memory. War was history. How did you achieve this? Visitors asked. We focused on solutions, not problems, humans answered. We shared instead of hoarding. We cooperated instead of competing. Not everyone was happy. The Zephyrian Empire resisted. They remembered their defeat at New Gibraltar. They wanted revenge, not partnership. You humiliated us, their ambassador told Jake. Made us look weak. You did that yourself, Jake replied. By attacking the defenseless, by choosing conquest over cooperation. The Zephyrians left the council. A few others followed. They formed their own alliance. The galaxy split between those who chose partnership and those who chose isolation. Years passed. The partnership grew stronger. Human technology spread. Alien knowledge enriched humanity. Together they achieved more than apart. New colonies rose on shared worlds. Human and alien children played together. Scientists made discoveries that no single species could achieve alone. The galaxy grew larger as new dimensions opened. On the 10th anniversary of the vote, a celebration filled the council chambers. Representatives from 300 species attended. The room had been rebuilt, expanded using human folding technology. It held thousands comfortably. Sophie Chen, now chief ambassador, gave the main address. Her hair showed gray now. Her face carried lines of experience, but her voice remained strong. 10 years ago you banned us, she said. You thought it would contain us. Instead, it freed us. It forced us to innovate, to find new paths, to become more than we were. She gestured to the mixed crowd. Humans and aliens together. Former enemies, now friends. The weak protected. The strong teaching. The ban failed. Sophie continued. But in failing, it succeeded. It pushed humanity to grow. It forced the galaxy to change. It brought us here together stronger than ever. Salthix listened from his seat. No longer chairman, but still respected. He'd learned much in 10 years. His fear of humanity had become respect, then friendship. I apologize, he said, standing. We banned you from fear. Fear of change. Fear of growth. Fear of the unknown. We were wrong. Sophie smiled. No apology needed. Fear is natural, but courage is choice. You chose courage when you voted for partnership. That matters more than past mistakes. The celebration continued. Stories were shared. Plans were made. The future beckoned with infinite possibility. On Earth's moon, Kate Harrison watched new recruits train. The Ghost Fleet Academy accepted all species now. The mysterious protectors would continue their work, but with wider support. Remember, she told the mixed class, power isn't strength, it's responsibility. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. We stand for justice. We act when others hesitate. Her students nodded. Human. Morvac, Tinian, even some Zarthians, all united in purpose. Far away, the Zephyrian Empire plotted revenge. They built weapons. They made alliances with pirates and slavers. They prepared for war. But humanity and its allies were ready. The ghost ships watched. The protection fleet stood guard. Science advanced daily. Unity grew stronger. The ban was history. The future was partnership. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Containing humanity was impossible. Working with them was profitable. Fighting them was foolish. In her final report on the ban period, Amy Taylor wrote, "They tried to limit us to 3 dimensions. We found 6. They restricted our bodies. We freed our minds. They banned our expansion. We expanded the very concept of expansion." She paused, then added, "The greatest lesson? Humans don't break rules. We transcend them. We don't fight limitations. We make them irrelevant. We don't conquer, we include. That's why the ban failed. That's why partnership succeeds." The stars shined brighter now. More worlds held life. More species knew peace. The galaxy was larger, safer, and more wonderful than before, all because someone tried to ban humanity, and humanity refused to be banned. The future spread before them. Infinite, exciting, shared. The age of limits had ended. The age of possibilities had begun.